Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Gamma Ray podcast. I'm Tim with Justin and Tim.
How's it going, everybody?
What's going on?
All right, now that the introductions are over, thank fucking God we can, dude. I am excited. Like, I am about to blast off into fucking orbit. Like, I'm so excited for this episode, man.
I couldn't tell.
It's like my native folks, my
Yeah,
kids. I feel like I should be up there with them. This week, of course, man, we're talking about some important shit for once. We're talking about the Greys.
The Greys.
Yeah,
I'm
not
super
nearly
stoked.
as important as the chupacabra, but a close fourth.
So, like, when the aliens invade, I'm pretty sure the first thing they're gonna wipe out is chupacabra and those who love them. I think that's gonna be the first fucking thing to go. Because if I have any say in it, which I will, what's your
Because-
address?
because you know these people personally.
Yeah,
I've
they
been
probed
abducted.
them already.
Because remember, you've been abducted.
I have been.
I know.
I have been, man.
That's the story.
I haven't shit right since.
No,
So, like, when it comes to alien visitations, though, right? I mean, there are none out there that are anywhere near the amount of sightings and, like, visitation, that kind of shit, more than the Greys. It's not even
Yeah.
close.
No.
no, hands down, dude.
Yeah, it's not close. And I was actually watching a pretty cool thing last night. Whitley Strieber, he wrote Communion. You know what I mean? So his book, Communion, was one of the first pictures of what a gray really looks like in mass media. And
Okay. Was that like from a description?
that was from his abduction
Wasn't it
experience.
like different
his-
than like
from his
the
personal
usual
abduction.
one?
Yeah.
Or am I thinking of somebody else's?
You're thinking of
It's like-
somebody else's. I
Like
think.
not instead of like gray skin, they had like tan skin or something.
No,
Like,
that wasn't him. He said that they had like two different ones, right? There was the little guy that looked a little funny. They wore like robes and like hoods, like hoodies and shit. And yeah, like
He
Eminem.
just walking around in fucking hoodies.
Yeah. It's
Thugging.
like a
It's
like
thugging on Earth.
like a spaceship full of Slim Shadys. And then there was like the normal one that you're used to, like a taller version with the, you know what I mean? Like your traditional looking alien. And his was the first one. Like Whitley Strieber was like, he was really famous, man, before that abduction happened. Like he wrote The Howling, that became the book that became The Howling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote a bunch of that kind of shit, man. He was like huge in science fiction, like New York Times bestseller. Like this dude had no reason at all
to make up
to make
like,
up a story
for
the
more
way that he
attention.
did.
Yeah, to kind of jeopardize his career.
Yeah,
almost.
dude, he was like super, super famous. You know what I mean, as far as the writer's concerned. But like the Greys, though, like I said, are easily the most reported alien species, maybe second to what, like the Nordics or reptilian.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, I mean,
or
when you
second to those
think,
guys.
but like when you think of alien abduction, dude, you don't go to either one of those. You go to the Greys.
No, and
for
I think
sure.
about it a lot. A lot
Well,
more
like-
than a normal person probably should.
Well, yeah, but like, I do agree with Justin. I think when, the major chunk of America or even the world, when you talk abductions,
Mhm.
instantly go to the Greys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Only
Well, I
because I
mean,
think they're the most recognizable.
I think a lot of that is pop culture.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
branding.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
thank God it's not a fucking, they're not xenomorphs. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Yeah, that'd
Thank
be
God there's not that.
yeah, that'd be
You
a
know what I
bad day.
That's
You
a
already
that's
have
a
to
different
be-
comment. That's a different level.
You
of
already have to
person.
be in space for a xenomorph to show up. At least,
Yeah.
they're not coming to the planet. You know what I mean? You got to walk around a spaceship in your fucking panties. That's when they show up. But from, like I said, like from UFO sightings to abductions, Greys, numero uno, number one.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, and they're like the species like described too, like the UFO crash, like in Roswell. You know what I mean? Grays. Like every time something like that has happened, like every time a whistleblower has come out and said, I fucking saw an alien. You know what I mean?
It's always the Greys.
It's a gray. It's a gray. But where do they come from in the cosmos?
That is a good question.
It is, and I have
Where
the
do-
answer.
Where do they come from?
Uranus.
They changed that to get rid of the joke. It's now your
Yeah,
record.
yeah, you're right. It is. I'm sorry. It's scientifically inaccurate now.
So, like, a lot of folks believe that they come from like the Orion star systems at a reticulum, like that whole cluster. You mean
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Orion's belt, like in fucking Men in Black? You know what I mean? That's where they're from. Allegedly, we have no fucking idea where they're from. I mean, you could just show up and be like, "Hey, I'm an alien. Like, where are you from?" You're like, Orion. You just make it
Yeah,
up.
I mean,
Yeah.
We gotta
Well,
fact
Hey,
check it.
how you gonna question
You know what I mean? You can't.
you
You can't.
can just make up a name and be like, then they be like, oh, do you mean Orion? Is that what you humans call it?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah. Right. I mean, like I said, like the reptilians being from Alpha Draconis. What are the fucking odds
yeah,
that star system would be
that
called a
reptilians
lizard?
are from
Yeah.
Draconis.
Or from a lizard described name. Pretty.
yeah. No,
It's pretty
it's
convenient. You
Yeah,
know
it
what I
is.
mean? That's why the Zeta
That's-
Reticuli was known as the gray star system.
I mean, that's a lot though when it comes to the aliens. A lot of that is like
Mhm.
that's a mighty big coincidence.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you
Yeah.
trying to say? Are you insinuating that a lot of gray stories are falsified?
I'm
So,
insinuating that
is that what you're insinuating?
almost all of them.
There's a mute button. I'm gonna mute this motherfucker like immediately. Like I could do this whole show without his ass. Like I could do the whole thing without him.
Okay, I'm
But-
tired, man. I'll go lie down.
So like those stars though, right? Zeta Reticuli and the Orion system, 39.3 light years away from Earth. So really not that far.
Mm,
No, when you talk about in like
Not in
cosmic
galactic
cosmic
scale.
Yeah, it's
scale,
not
no,
far.
galactic scale.
It's around the block. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really not that far. So you know, to think that after however many years they had to have a jump on us, or if they don't, they didn't go through a lot of the bullshit that we did, and they just focused on science.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that mean they didn't have different countries working on different things. There was just one species, and everybody worked together. And they figured it out. You know
We
what I
didn't
mean?
have 500 years of oppression
Right.
of science and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Not even
essentially,
just that too. Like if their civilization, like their species in general,
right.
is
Well, they all
probably
look
millions
the
of years more involved than ours. So
same. Why do
they've
they
had a
all look
lot
the same.
longer.
I don't get that. Like, why do they all look the same?
I think it's the kind of the same thing. Whereas like you look at two dogs from the same breed and really can't tell them apart.
Yeah, okay, but
Well, no,
we're
in
all-
terms of they could tell themselves apart
right.
from
Do-
minute facial features.
Dogs
but-
can. Dogs.
Well,
Can tell each
no,
other
but what I
apart.
mean is we can't tell a difference,
Yeah,
Hey,
but they can.
but how's this for an example?
That's one
All
thing they
three
got in
of-
common with the dog.
All
whole
three of
butt
us.
thing.
All three of yeah. Well, they're sniffing it. They're not, probing
Probing
it
it. Yeah.
for whatever reason. But they had like we're all humans, but we all look a lot different.
Yeah, but I bet the aliens we don't.
Yeah.
They're probably like all humans look
These
alike.
fleshy meat bags over here.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they're made out of meat. Where are they made out of?
Talk about the humans, dude.
But what are the aliens made out of?
They're robots, obviously.
Clearly
Oh.
and unequivocally,
Yes,
robots.
There we go.
they're in
Episode
disguise.
wrapped up. They're
They
robots.
just evolved from robots and became more advanced robots.
Yes. If anything
Nature, man.
tells
I
you
tell ya,
anything, Futurama,
it's fucking weird.
robots
Apparent-
evolved. a
Yeah,
lot
apparently
faster
that's
than
the
humans.
only show that any of us have ever watched. in Futurama. But so there's a lot of and I'm kind of on this boat too, actually, is that they're not from space at all. Right? That they're in fact interdimensional beings. They're from a different plane of existence. You know what I mean? Like I think right now, I know I'm not gonna get this right, but I think there's like 26 dimensions confirmed by mainstream science.
You
Confirmed?
got me. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. I think some folks are like, oh, it's 11 or 12, but I think it goes up to like 26, and that's a fucking lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot, dude. So that's like, just like, I guess it's like infinitely close to each other. I don't know the science of it, of course. You know what I mean? But that's where they come from. They don't come from space. They found
I mean,
a way.
dude, that
to
would mean
go through
There's
dimensions.
25 other planes of existence other than ours.
Yeah,
That's insane to think about.
yeah. God.
I don't know. But see, that's the thing, man. I don't really know if I'm on board with that. I think I would tend to believe they're more planet alien based,
Mm-hmm.
From our own
Mm-hmm.
existence than I would if they were interdimensional.
Well, I thought you were like super science guy, and you're
Well-
not be able to travel faster than the speed of light, according to science. To science. Is it science? I guess it's science, isn't it? Or is that like Newton? Who did that? Einstein.
Einstein,
Einstein.
can't travel faster than the speed
He
of
didn't
light.
just make bagels, folks. So, so like if that's the case, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it took them
Well-
39 years to get here.
if they could travel that fast,
Yeah.
if they can
Well,
even
no,
travel.
plus you got to think too. Is like that's just based off our knowledge of known physics.
Hmm.
Is that you can't
Right.
travel faster than light.
Plus interstellar,
Plus, I mean, you got
the interstellar travel.
wormholes are mathematically possible.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. you
Yeah,
know.
but what I remember from my quantum physics classes is that like
Nah.
wormholes are like A, they're unpredictable, and B, they're typically like super, super small.
Yeah, but put that in. That's to the scientists of today. Now add in a species that could
that's
be
our
millions or
that's our
billions of
science.
years more advanced than us,
Mm-hmm.
with most likely different elements on their planet, or have discovered far more elements.
See, like I don't think personally, like, I don't think they're millions of years. Millions of years. Think about what humans have done in 100 years.
Yeah.
Not much.
A lot.
Now
The
we
fuck
haven't
you
done
talking
jack
about,
shit.
dude?
In 1922,
We're still throwing rocks
comparative
at
to
each
now,
other.
or what year are we in? 23, 1923. There you go.
I mean, it took what 60 years? What was it? 60 years or 80 years in between the Wright brothers and the moon landing.
60, I think. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good advancement.
So like a million years, like a million, like
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
a long
lot.
time.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think they're that far. You know what I mean? But maybe they are. But I feel like if they were a million years, their technology, we wouldn't even be able to detect them or see them or any of that shit.
No.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't
a
think we
million
can
years
unless
is
they
nuts.
want us to see them to begin with.
Well, there's a lot of stuff happening like with the fighter pilots and stuff because they upgraded their a few years back. I'm sure they got better ones now, but like the radar systems were updated.
Hmm.
And then they didn't see them on the radar and all that stuff before that, but then they started to after the new ones
After the
were
upgrades.
yeah, so they can be seen by the stuff that we have, even though if they're trying to not be seen, we can still detect them.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we just can't do anything
I would,
about it.
I would think if you have the technology to go essentially 40 light years through space, you probably have the technology to just be completely.
I was gonna say
undetectable.
yeah, your stealth technology is gonna be on.
Like,
is gonna
dude,
be
I mean,
beyond
we're
our
still
approach.
throwing rocks compared to these guys.
Shut up. We're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah. I mean, we're basically Neanderthals.
I don't really agree with that either. Because like written history is being proven currently
To be
that it's
consistently wrong.
It's
Yeah.
wrong. It's wrong. We're way old. Like civilization is way older than they believe it to be.
Yeah, the
way older
mainstream
by like
yeah.
tens of thousands of years. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's a
mainstream
pretty good-
academia's got that wrong.
Yeah, because they're stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? And so, like, what are they? What do the grades look like? Right? If you don't know what a grade looks like, you're a fucking idiot. But I'm gonna tell you anyway. I'm gonna tell you anyway. Right? So, like their namesake, they have gray colored skin, if you can believe it, and they have like a small like chest cavity, like they're like really kind of frail looking,
Like pixie-ish.
like physically they don't look like physically strong. You know what I mean? They have like long fucking like spindly arms, and they don't have like normal features that like a person, which is probably why when somebody sees them they freak the fuck out because you're not used to seeing some shit like that, like a bipedal creature that doesn't look like a human.
Yeah, they're disproportionate.
Yeah, they are.
Like heads a lot bigger, arms are longer.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, but humans are humans are conditioned to recognize people off facial features.
Right.
Nose, mouth, eyes, lips.
It's the uncanny. It's the uncanny valley effect.
Yeah, even in dreams, you're not making up a face. You've seen that face somewhere at some point before. In time. Yeah. You're just subconsciously remembering it. So like even then, you're not really making it up.
So I agree. I would think seeing something that's almost featureless.
Yeah, it's super scary.
Yeah, it's gonna freak you out.
Yeah, so they have like no like ears like we're used to. I think there's just like little holes in them. You know what I mean? And then they have like if they do have a nose, it's like super, 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 super tiny, like a Michael Jackson nose. And then they don't have any like reproductive organs. They don't got like a dick and balls. You know what I mean? So what are they doing?
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder how they reproduce.
No wonder why they're coming here and fucking with us.
They got nothing better to do, man.
No,
they can't. They can't. Yeah, they can't have sex. They're bored.
What are you doing? There's nothing to do. Nothing
worthwhile. What the fuck, dude?
Nothing worthwhile doing.
I'm just gonna go down there and fuck with the humans
going at it.
Yeah.
Got these humans going at it like spider monkeys.
so they have legs that are like super short in comparison to the rest of their body, like you said. Like their arms are super super long, and they bend in like a weirdly like really weird place. You know what I mean? They have like 4 fingers, like super long fingers, like ET fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're super super long, and then like their joints, like I said, bend in a different way. But with unequivocally, like the most, like what am I trying to say here? Like the most like commonly recognized features that they have. There's a big old head, and then they
Yeah.
have the big black almond eyes.
Yeah, big bulbous head.
Mm-hmm. How do they hold up? Their skinny last little bodies hold up. That
Yeah, I know,
giant
because
tater.
if you ever see the pictures, bro, look how skinny their necks are.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, there are reports that they're like deceptively strong. They look weak, but they're not.
Deceptively strong, huh?
Yeah, like you would see them like, oh, I could fight them off, and then they grab your hand and leave it. Yeah, they grab your arm and you can't move.
That's when you put them in like a fucking arm bar, like a rear naked choke.
I don't think it's probably not a good idea to try to grapple with an
I would think
extraterrestrial.
personally, like I think the easiest thing to do would be like the old like Three Stooges, like poke them in the eyes. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna hit them in the eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're you.
Yeah, you ain't- yeah, it's not like you're gonna
every
miss
time
'em.
we run into them,
Yeah,
It might-
it ain't like you miss them. That's for
right.
sure.
I mean, they're gigantic black.
they might
eyes.
eventually get you, but it's gonna take them a couple hours because you're just gonna poke them all in the
Yeah.
right in the eye.
Well, it's like you put a bucket on their head or something. They're not gonna be able to figure it out because according to every movie I've ever watched, they can't figure certain things out, like doors and shit. Like they can't. They don't know what's happening. They don't know to turn.
They all have
doorknob.
Star Trek doors, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know, man. If you ever watched Paul,
We have them too at like every single gas station you've ever gone to. Or, it just opens the door automatically.
I mean, if you ever watched Paul, dude, he's sitting there smoking weed, drinking beer.
Yeah, that's because it was played by Seth fucking Rogen. He's an asshole. I
Yeah, who
fucking hate
smokes
Seth
weed
Rogen.
in every movie he's in.
Any person who thinks Seth Rogen's funny is a fucking douchebag. Like he is
Yeah.
not funny. He's not a funny dude.
No.
I'm sorry, he's not. Everybody around him is super funny.
I do like the movie Paul, though.
Yeah, because it's
it's
alien
aliens.
played by Seth Rogen smoking
Yeah.
weed and drinking beers. I mean, the character is cool. I just
Yeah, the character's cool as shit.
I would have had rather him been voiced by somebody else. Matthew McConaughey just comes to mind. That would have been great.
Shit.
But he would have had
Christopher Walken.
But he would have had like a conch shell necklace on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, right. Yeah.
Funny story. Christopher Walken. It's some sort of like Freudian thing you just did there. Christopher Walken played Whitley Strieber in the movie Communion.
Oh yeah.
Did he?
You sure
I
did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because you never seen it, did you?
No, I have seen it.
You seen Communion? I think it's just you and me, buddy. I think we're the only two that ever saw it. Because that's not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
Like the association of the Greys and like the Zeta Reticuli star system, right?
Mm-hmm.
It came from perhaps one of the most famous and original abduction stories belonging to Betty and Barney Hill.
I think it was the first reported abduction ever.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
Documented.
Ever. Like ever.
At the very least, it was one of the most well like documented ones.
I mean, is that even since like the Roswell days?
Well, the Roswell was just a crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like an actual abduction.
Yeah, they actually took them.
That's what I'm saying, but there was nothing in between
Mm-mm.
like the Roswell days and this.
Well, they had like the flyover of Washington D.C. where all those UFOs flew over in like the 50s.
yeah, that was
They
like
flew over the
54
Capitol
or something like that.
Yeah, they flew over the Capitol. That's when like in the 50s and stuff was when it was starting to get into like pop culture. I think what's that? The Outer Limits was just coming on late 50s, early 60s. You know what I mean?
Twilight Zone shit.
Mm-hmm.
Betty and Barney were during the fall of 1961. The two of them were coming home from Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Coming home to Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
From a vacation they took to Canada, and while driving on a back road, they spotted a strange object and like a light in the sky, in the night sky.
You're right. Good. I'm glad you corrected it because nobody goes on vacation to Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I
go home.
needed to correct that one.
That's another one of those states I forget exists.
Yeah.
If
New
they don't do
Hampshire.
anything.
No, I don't remember that place existed until you said that.
Well, while they were driving, see, I believe it was Betty who first noticed it.
Yes.
She noticed it
Believe
just
that's true.
like they were just driving. She saw it up there, didn't think much of it.
Right.
Then it was like a couple hours later or 30 minutes later or something like that. She noticed it was just staying there.
Right.
It was just following them.
Right.
That's when, she started panicking, which got Barney all
Well, he had
panicked up too.
I think he had like a gun on him and all kinds.
Oh
of
yeah, he
shit,
did. I can't remember what it was. I want to say Beretta, but I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what kind of gun you got
No, it
against
doesn't.
alien beings. You know what I mean?
No.
They're gonna shut you down. Yeah.
It's they were beset upon like by the extraterrestrial craft,
Mm-hmm.
and they were brought aboard, and the way they were brought aboard, like they almost fell into like a trance.
Yeah.
Because I believe, and later, what's the word I'm looking for? Reports. Recounts.
Yeah.
Betty remembers like seeing them pull Barney. They were just dragging him to the ship.
Right. That's right. Because like, wasn't his like, if I remember the story right, like his shoes were all tore up and his clothes were like
like the top of his shoes were all scuffed.
Right. Which I guess if you were getting dragged facing
So they weren't.
down.
So they weren't beamed up by a light or whatever, like a tractor beam type thing.
No, it landed
No.
in front of them. Because what happened is the light got ahead of their car.
Yeah.
And then shut the car off.
Yeah.
So they couldn't go anywhere.
So like an
And
EMP
it landed.
kind of
It was a carburetor.
thing.
When it landed, I think it was like 4 to 6 creatures came out.
Yeah, they
And-
had like a really weird description of the ship too. It had wings and shit that came out of it. It was very like psychedelic looking. You know what I mean? Like it was very strange.
Like you think the wings weren't just like landing ramps or something, maybe?
I mean, I think when it's at night, you're in the middle of the fucking woods. It's 1961.
And you got this fucking
and you're
thing
seeing-
in the middle of the road.
Yeah, beaming down aliens. I don't know if your facts are 100% on point there.
No.
You know what I mean? It's pretty stressful
Yeah.
situation to be in.
Well, nowadays, first thing you do is pull out your phone, but back then they didn't have that
they-
capability.
No, they still had the tripod with the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
button.
Like, or that you
Giving
can't
fist
Put over.
bumps.
Yeah, or you can't like expect them to
Man.
like whip out a pad and a pencil and be like, "This is what it looked like."
Right.
Like,
No.
don't move. Like,
Yeah, hold on.
yeah, let me get this sketched out.
My
Hold on, let me
muse
put
just
the-
hit me.
Let me put the filter on.
But for a while after, they had like some sort of recollection of what actually happened during their bout of like missing time while they were aboard the ship.
Yeah,
And late,
they knew something was up. I don't think they knew what, but something had happened.
well, I think what it was that Betty was having essentially nightmares.
Hmm.
And when she was telling Barney about it, he'd get,
Like, shut up, Betty.
yeah, pretty much.
Want to hear that shit?
Yeah, he'd get defensive.
Yeah.
And later, under hypnosis, the two of them they did recount like a horrific tale of abduction and experimentation
Right.
by the, at the time, just alien species. I don't think they were calling them the Greys yet.
No, I don't think
Betty
they
and
even...
Barney
Mm-mm.
weren't.
No.
Now they are known as the Greys.
Right.
So they ran into them before that's what they were called.
Before we labeled them.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to categorize everything.
Yeah, well,
Well,
that's how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially after they came out with their story, they were just under constant ridicule.
Well, sure, it's fucking nuts.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and it's 1961, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's insane.
Yeah. It's not something that would fly too well.
Well, I mean, this is like again, like when the original like Earth, day Earth stood still was around. You know what I mean? So everybody's like, oh, they're full of shit. You know what I mean? They just saw some movies or something, and
well, dude,
Yeah,
look
they're
at
making
War
it
of the
for
Worlds.
attention.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
look
making
what
it
War of the
up.
Worlds did. People thought that shit was like fucking legit.
yeah,
Yeah, people
Orson
killed
Welles-
themselves during that.
Yeah, when Orson Welles started that, man, like people thought that shit like we were really getting invaded.
dude, I heard that they did that because I read the book, the original book by H.G. Wells. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I was just looking up some stuff about it, and of course, yeah, the Orson Welles was, I think it was New Jersey that he was at or something like that.
Yeah.
But they
and the
did it
radio station.
again in like some like third world country, and like a bunch of people died.
Really?
Well,
Yeah,
they
it was
did
like
it again.
They went like nuts, man. Like they were
Another
like,
dude did it again in America. like 20 years later,
Oh, really?
and he
I
got
didn't know that.
arrested for like trying to incite a panic,
Oh, like a
riot.
panic?
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, at that point, it's the 70s by now or the 60s.
Yeah.
No, it'd be like
I
I
don't know
think it was
though.
like in the 80s.
I don't know, man, because you got to think about, that was the space race too.
Yeah, that was Cold
So,
War.
like, I think
It was
maybe,
ramping up. Was that
yeah, that's what I'm
Korea or was
saying.
that
The belief,
Vietnam? Korea was then, wasn't it? Was that Korean War was in the 60s, I think?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't say shit like that back then,
No,
man.
Vietnam was late 60s, early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Korean War was
In the
late
50s.
50s.
Okay.
Well, they were getting called liars and all this other stuff.
Sure.
And mainly due because, like we were just talking about, how fantastic
Yeah.
this story was for the time period.
Right.
I mean, dude, it was straight
And-
science fiction. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that's what everybody else was thinking.
Yep.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But yeah, because that's the part you got to understand is the 60s, it would have been like, if God didn't create it, it doesn't exist. Real strong religious beliefs too.
If this would have came out in the 70s, they'd have been cult leaders.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. 70s were a great time for cults.
They
Yeah,
were
they
just
were.
born at the wrong time, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Abducted in the wrong decade.
part of it too could be because they were an interracial couple, which was
That's a big deal
which was
back
frowned
then.
upon.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
big
It was
deal
it
back
was
then.
at the very least frowned upon. It was
Yeah.
1961. I mean, that was like probably really the beginning of where that kind of shit was okay.
I do believe that New Hampshire, like I think it was like New Hampshire, New York, like a lot of like the New England places were, I think, amongst like the coolest about that
Yeah, for
in that time period, and that's why they lived there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where they were from originally or not, but I know that that's part of it. You know what I mean? It was like they were more liberal with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they moved there because of that. I
mean,
don't think that was their hometown.
Betty was like college educated and stuff too, and I think Barney was too, but I think he ended up being like a mailman or something.
He was a
Like-
janitor or something.
like
Yeah.
a UPS guy or something. He was something like that.
It's like, fuck it. I'll
He
deliver
delivered
now.
something for someone. I know that. That's as much as I know about it.
But, they did end up getting like hypnotic regression, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
Okay,
it
but let me
did
just say
provide.
this before we go any further with that. Do y'all really believe in that stuff?
Hypnosis?
The hypnotic regression?
No,
Absolutely.
it's actually been proven to be. I don't believe in it. It's been proven to be false memories. You can create
I don't believe that.
between you and the psychiatrist. You can create like, super realistic memories that never existed.
No. I think what you're referring to is that if it's a
wait a minute.
if it's a shitty hypnotist, you know what I mean, and they have like some sort of like they like while you're in that trance like state, animals go in trance states all the fucking time. People do it all the time when they're in like if you like go and talk to like a UFC fighter or a boxer when they're in the fucking ring. You know what I mean? They're in a fucking trance, dude. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah, see, but the problem would be is
fighting
that
to literally almost to death. You know what I mean?
you're going back
But they could be
for
fed.
whatever reason. Because
But
like think about like the satanic panic when that was going on.
You know,
A lot of that
was that aliens too?
no, but I'm talking about like
That was the devil.
regressed memories.
No, it'd be a lot cooler. If
A
it
lot of
was.
people were they were coming out with these this satanic cult got me, and it came out that they only remembered after they were put under hypnosis because
Okay,
what
but that's two
happens
different
is that
things. You're talking about two different things. So like you're talking about suggestive memory, where like when you're in that state of like an altered state of consciousness, like the person literally can feed you
no
ideas that your brain will come up with. But if they're like,
what it is, it's like they go back like the whole you're going back in time.
but I think if they're like an ethical person, they're not doing that. They're like, you tell me what happened, and I'm going to shut up.
Oh,
And they tell you something, you're like, okay, tell me about that.
Yeah. Instead of suggesting,
So-
like you said, suggestive memories so they can get on
Right.
TV.
Like, do
or
you
so they can
remember?
write a book.
Like, you put somebody under hypnosis. Like, do you remember when that satanic cult abducted you? And they're like, oh yeah, of course I do. Because like now you're like feeding them ideas when they're in that like their mind is open for creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think if you're like an ethical person, a doctor who took the Hippocratic Oath, and you're not fucking with people's brains, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they're doing that. So I really
No,
do think
I
it
mean,
just depends on the person that you're doing it with.
regress memories are not admissible in court anymore.
They're
No.
not. No, but neither are lie
They
detector
were.
tests, so.
No.
Yeah. True.
But it did provide some like interesting evidence that could prove that the story was true. Whether or
Okay.
not you want to believe,
I want you to
it's
understand the implications
possible.
of the sentence you just said, because you just called them fucking liars, not liars. That the guy that did the hypnosis basically fucked with them. But now you're gonna give me
what I'm
proof?
saying
Case closed.
is that they're yeah, fair enough.
Done. I'm out. I won.
I don't believe in them.
I win, everybody.
There's been too many. Well, there's been
You
too
don't
many
believe
cases.
these guys? You don't believe Betty and Barney?
I don't believe in memory regression. No.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there's been too many cases where it came out that the person was like, "Oh, June 6th they took me," and then someone goes back far enough and be like, "Dude, on June 6th you were in Hawaii,
Right?"
And you're saying that you were abducted in Colorado.
See, I think
there's
what
too
you
many
should
cases
do...
where people have like
right.
They thought they were telling the truth, but in reality they weren't.
Well, I think what you should do is be like, we'll go up to a hypnotherapist and be like, "Do you like aliens?" He's like, "I don't give a fuck about aliens." Like, you're the guy.
You would need like a proper
like he doesn't
like scientists and authorities and all this in the room with you. So they you're not being fucked with.
Well, like I'm not saying that they were fed information or they were fed the story. I'm just wondering if y'all actually believed in, and thought.
Well, see, the only reason why
Yes,
I would say
that
it does provide some interesting evidence that it might actually be true is because how many stories have come out with abductions where like people lost 3 straight days.
A few.
The memories have been getting wiped. That's the only reason I even brought it up.
The second the biggest abduction story in history, Travis Walton, Fire in the Sky.
Yeah,
It was gone for like 5 days.
The dude that was like you got snatched from the mountains, right?
Yeah,
the logging camp or something.
Yeah, they made a movie out of it.
Yeah,
and they found the dude fucking 5 days later, like 30 miles away, butt naked at a truck stop or whatever he was.
I don't think he was butt naked, but yeah, he
was
back.
He was, he was.
Dude, all his friends were getting accused of murder, and they were trying to get him to tell him where they put the body.
Yeah,
and he didn't remember anything except the fact that he had like 5 o'clock shadow going. He's like, "There's no way I would have grew this much beard."
I mean, don't you think though? Eventually, they would have been like, "Yo, here's your clothes." Like, what the fuck did they keep his beard for?
Dude, they're running around butt ass naked.
It's only recently that became a thing.
I'm like, like, oh shit, these are Levi's, like Nikes. I'm keeping these fucking things.
Yeah.
Were they Nike?
These are,
oh my god, these
Jordans?
What are these, velvet jumpsuits and Nike decades? They were right.
Do you have any idea?
Check out these bell bottoms.
T and Doe were right the whole time.
I don't understand why they always, you always ended up buck naked.
Because they were probing you.
Yeah. Easier access, man.
Yeah, but if they were wiping your memory,
they're gonna stick the tube through your denim.
No. Well, I mean, if they're wiping your memory, don't you think they'd be smart enough to put your clothes back on?
Dude, they don't even wipe your ass, but they will wipe your memory.
Well, Betty specifically, right? She was the one that was really into this.
Yeah, a little like over
Barney.
the top. Yeah,
Barney hated the attention he was getting from this. He hated the thought of it.
Well, he had some physical stuff happening too, because he had like a bunch of like
warts on his.
It was a warts.
Genitals.
Was it warts?
Yeah, it was in like a perfect circle,
like a perfect circle around his junk.
Yeah,
his granddaughter or his daughter or something like that is a ufologist now, and did like a big talk about it, about his genitals having warts all over.
Dude, imagine holding the whole press conference just to talk about your grandfather's junk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like his uncle or something. She was related to him somehow.
Yeah, but still, yeah, like he was not a fan of any of this, dude. But she ended up actually drawing. This is where her claims kind of feel a little bit more true to me.
Yeah, but I'm sure
she ended up drawing.
If you're like
a star map,
if you're like an interracial couple in the 60s, you're like, stop drawing attention to us.
Yeah.
Just let us exactly exist. Nobody's fucking with us. Just leave us. Yeah. Let it be.
Yeah. Well, they were respected in their community before this.
That's true. They were. That's true.
But like I just said, she ended up drawing a star map that during the 60s, it showed a star system that was unknown.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like one of those maps you get in like Los Angeles where it tells you where like celebrities live.
No.
Oh, okay. This is Jackie Gleason's house. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, shit.
Here's where Abbott and
No, but
Costello live.
She claimed that she was shown this map by the Greys, and later it would be discovered that there was in fact the Zeta Reticulum.
The ZD Reticuli.
Zeta Reticuli. There you go.
That's where
Star
Italians
system.
came from. Right, which is
Yeah,
nuts.
I stumbled all over that. Yeah,
Which
like
is nuts though. You know what I mean? Because she drew a star map in like essentially like 3 dimensions.
yeah,
of
she,
stars that
she
weren't even
drew it in the
discovered
way
yet.
that we scientists now draw it, like the point that was it the space time
Yeah.
location star system or something like I forget how exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Like
that-
kind of like the directions of that's on the
Up,
gold
down,
disc.
left, right. forward, back.
Not really like
Right.
that. It was more like a piece of paper and it had like she put like a bunch of dots in like a certain like configuration. You know what I mean? That they're like, oh, this is just fucking nonsense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
See,
then
I was
like
thinking she
and
was
then, like-
she drew it the other way.
no, I don't think so. I think it was like just like dots on a piece of paper. She's like, this is what I remember them showing me. And then like 10 years later, they're like, well, that matches the stars we just found in Zeta Reticuli. Like exactly.
Yeah.
And there was another scientist that came out, this like a statistician or something, that said it was statistically impossible, not impossible, but improbable that a person with no astronomical knowledge at all previous could have just guessed that.
Yeah.
Like it could not have happened.
Yeah,
It was
there was
like,
no
well,
way
yeah,
she
like
would
I-
have known.
Yeah, that definitely
Like the
adds
astronomers
credence
didn't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
her.
scientists didn't even know. Yeah,
Yeah, like
astronomers
the
just
people
didn't know.
the people who stare at the night sky looking for new stars did not know about this, and then she just ends up. There you
Right.
go.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's mind blowing.
you know what's crazy is I just realized like the second season of American Horror Story, right?
Uh-huh.
Remember the second half of that when the kid got out, him and his black girlfriend.
Oh
was-
yeah.
it
So
was
it's like a parallel
reversed.
to that story. Yeah.
Yeah, it was reversed
Cool.
because he had a black girlfriend.
Wouldn't know.
instead
I
of
don't watch
a black
that show.
husband.
Oh, good for him,
But
man.
like they were an interracial couple that were abducted by aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the third girl got brought in, but I'm sure that was just added for story.
Hey,
But hell, they
But,
probably
like,
took
but they
that
were
straight from
experimenting
Barney
on
and
'em.
Betty.
they just like to party. That's the only reason the third one was brought in.
While some believe that the Greys are a force of good and want to help humanity and the planet Earth, many others believe that they are here to harvest us and have a more sinister agenda.
Bullshit.
Um,
Or
I
maybe
kind of
it's
go
true.
with the latter, to be honest with you.
see,
What do
I
you think?
see. That's why I see.
But
it
you think they're
differently.
evil? You think they're
I,
evil?
like, I can't go with the.
I
latter.
think they're here for a very specific purpose, and it's not
Mm.
to help
Mine-
us out.
Well, I ain't saying they ain't here for a specific purpose, but honestly, dude, I think if they wanted to fucking wipe us out, it wouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
No, why?
Yeah.
Why wipe us out when they could just have us do whatever job they want without us knowing about
It's a
it?
planet full of slaves, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
kinda
still,
kind of like the whole Anunnaki thing.
yeah.
Like we're here to be like mine their gold for 'em and.
Well, I mean,
whatever
I think if
resources.
it came down to like hand-to-hand combat, we'd be all right. But with space weapons, I think we're in deep shit. You know.
Yeah, when it comes down to technology versus technology.
But like
Yeah,
even
which-
like when they were shot on, like like shot at and shit like that by like fighter pilots and all that, they never did anything.
No, because they
No.
didn't have to, because they weren't a threat to them.
Yeah, but it's still an attack.
Yeah, I mean that's like throwing rocks at a tank, dude. You mean you ain't gonna be doing anything?
Yeah, it kind of is though.
do
It
you
really
expect
is,
a
man.
tank to
Yeah.
fucking blow you up for throwing a rock at it?
It is like throwing rocks at a tank for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
Or trying to throw rocks at an airplane from the ground. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, I mean, because if they can make it here, bro, that means,
The only reason they wouldn't ever
lead
like,
bullets ain't gonna do shit.
overtly invade us would be our nukes. Because
even then-
last moment we'd start firing those off and they'd
Ruin the
destroy the
planet.
planet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Because
yeah, but then
which
we would
scientist
ruin what
was the
they're here
one that
for.
was saying, like, I think it might have been Hawking. It's like we need to shut up.
Yeah, it was Hawkins.
We're putting too much out into space.
Yeah, we should just be
'Cause,
happy
like,
alone.
Whoever can get to us is vastly superior to us in like every facet.
Right.
And they're like, if they showed up to us, the likelihood that it's like a
That is going to end
Star
well.
Trek kind of thing where we just want to meet a new species is very unlikely. They're here.
Okay, now
they,
listen.
they be here for our resources.
Now listen. This is what you have to ask yourself: is he basing that off of what we would do
Yes.
if we went to another star system?
Yes.
Well,
And found a less superior race?
No, he was using like just like when like the
as
Spanish
humans.
like when the Spanish met the Aztecs and like wiped them out in like 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And well, that's what I'm saying. When a vastly superior.
Yeah. Well, see, I would think that personally, anyways, a civilization that's able to make it here from another solar system, what are the pure odds that they're showing up here, seeing how violent our planet is, and just being like, oh yeah, no, let's go make contact.
Yeah.
Or would
because I mean they've been
Greys
watching
have been
long enough.
Well, see, a lot of reports say the Greys are like calculating and they're logical.
Right.
The logical step would be to wipe out humans, save the planet. As it would be illogical for them to like try to make contact with us. And
Well, yeah, because if you wiped us out, the animal kingdom ain't going to be a threat to them.
No,
we're the
they're not
only
a threat to
species.
us.
That's what I'm saying.
them.
We're the only species that's a threat to them.
yeah,
Well, we're ghosts.
demons, angels.
Ghosts is a big problem.
Yeah. Sasquatch is gonna fuck up at least a couple of them.
Yeah, he's gonna scrap,
especially because he's able to use interdimensional portals.
But
Well,
I'm
he
sure
is an alien, so
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
he'd be able to portal right onto their ship and start fucking them up.
You gotta understand. I'm sure Sasquatch probably has a couple chupacabra on some chains. You
Oh,
know, like
100%.
Rottweilers.
Yeah, 100%. Who wouldn't?
yeah, he made him their bitch. I guess something I think nobody's talking about, the ghost pandemic that we're having.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in this
I mean,
country.
it's insane. dude.
I mean, if like the History Channel or them other channel, A&E, if nothing else, they show a ghost pandemic
Yeah,
with other shows that we got out there.
yeah. I've been
the
watching a show
Greys-
called Ghost Brothers. It's great. You got to watch it.
No, I never heard of it.
It's so good. I like it a lot.
Is that the one with the three dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. But the Greys are called very deceitful, and will use whatever means necessary to fulfill their agenda, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Who knows what it is?
Yeah.
We can't
Nobody.
comprehend it.
But see, like if
Well,
they
I'm
were
sure Eisenhower
again,
I feel
somebody-
like people say that though. They're like, "Oh, we couldn't possibly comprehend what they want." Like, probably could if we could talk to them.
Yeah,
Like, we're here to take over your planet. Like, I understand that.
yeah.
yeah,
We're here
You
for
know
your
what I mean?
resources. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. You know what? All that ass.
I mean, if it was like a
cure for
material,
colon cancer, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that, they're trying to help us.
if it was like a material thing or a conquest like thing, we could understand it because that's what we do.
Mining resources, we do that. War.
Yeah.
That's what most wars are about.
Yeah, for sure.
Resources.
Yeah. But they're also believed to be telepathic in nature, man. You know, and they have the ability, supposedly
Mhm.
they have the ability to control human thought and actions, and mainly during abduction events.
Right. So they're like cosmic Professor X's. They can just
Yeah.
okay.
Well, because there is a lot of abduction stories where the abductee is hearing a voice in their head.
Right.
They
Well,
know it's coming from like Alien B.
the Benny and
standing over
Barney
there in the
Hill.
corner.
Barney Hill
Yeah.
specifically said that he can hear them talking in his head, and he said something weird, like he can feel like their eyes or something were on him or inside of him or something like that. Like that's fucking horrifying.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of like showing him their thoughts or something.
No, like he could like see the being like mentally like in his brain,
Oh, in his
like
brain.
fucking with his playing
Like in
Connect
his
4 with
imagination
mind.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Mind game.
So I mean that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for him either though.
Right.
Well, I mean, would that mean like he sees them, but they're communicating in a way he understands inside his brain?
Yes. Telepathically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
they wouldn't be able to speak English or Spanish or anything, but they
That's
could
what I mean. So
convey
they're like
ideas.
a universal telepathic language.
I doubt it.
No, there isn't.
It's
I actually was
probably more
hearing
like
something about
they
that
want you to
recently.
be calm, and they're projecting like a calm,
Yeah,
Like a calmness in your,
calmness in you. Like, come with us. That kind
kind
of
of like
thing.
just like accept this. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it.
right.
Kind of thing, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But it's widely accepted that the Greys are running a sort of human alien hybrid program, as they have lost the ability to reproduce and need to use us to continue the existence of their species.
Yeah, that'll happen when you don't have a penis.
Yeah, genitalia.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder, man, like how did they reproduce up to that point?
Clones, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus. But see, like, there's another theory too that like you said, I hate to admit that he's kind of right, but Justin said that they're robots, that the little ones are robots.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like
So
the
it makes sense
servants
that they don't
to
have
the
any
tall Greys.
genitalia. And then it's the tall aliens. Are they the whites, the tall whites that run them?
Yeah,
Like the lighter skinned
tall
gray.
whites, tall grays. I think they're kind
Yeah,
of
you know what I mean? That they're the ones that are actually running the whole shit.
They look like they're shorter Greys, they're just taller and lighter.
Right. They're like little
Yeah.
automatons.
Yeah. And
So-
basically letting them do the dirty work for them.
yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Sending the robots to do the abductions.
Yeah.
And the
Exactly.
probing.
Because there was a theory somebody put out there. I can't remember who right now. There's like, why would you send a flesh and blood creature on an exploratory mission? Like, so if they were leaving Zeta Reticuli, why would you send like actual Greys out first?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You would send robots that have been programmed. Yeah, well, essentially, I think they were androids, but you would send them first because they're immortal. They're not going to age. So you get them out there. You get them to send.
Assuming you have to go the full distance.
Yeah.
There's no shortcuts to get there. Yeah.
Well, I get it, man, because it's kind of like what we did with Mars.
Yeah.
First, we sent the robots.
Yep.
Yeah, we
It's
sent.
inhabited by robots.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's the only planet that's totally inhabited by that we know of.
Right.
By robots. But it kind of, you send them, kind of give you a sense of, give you a feel of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of see what you're dealing with.
Yeah. Without putting anybody
get that
in danger.
set, and then you send flesh and blood creatures.
Yeah, there's no danger to the actual species at that point.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But they were said, basically, man, in essence, they would impregnate a human female.
Woo!
and then later,
How she felt that way.
and then later extract a fetus from them and wipe their memory of the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was there's a whole conspiracy theory about how Greys are.
So is this
the hybrids are like slowly taking over all the governments of the world, and
they say the same thing about the reptilians though too. So,
well, there's a whole higher.
I think that's just old school paranoia. I think that's what that is.
Well, I mean, if you want to get into that, dude, it's like the small Greys are run by the tall whites. The tall whites are controlled by the reptilians. The reptilians are controlled by
Anunnaki
or something like that. Yeah, like there's a whole hierarchy.
Right.
These things.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get deep into it, which I don't, because that's
I do
learning all that.
I thought you were going to go deep into it, and I was looking forward to it.
No, I have no intention to.
Oh.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, shit.
You do your own damn research.
But many are of the belief that these hybrid aliens live amongst us.
Yeah,
as we speak.
They do.
So yeah,
you have to have special sunglasses to see them, but they're there.
Yeah, everything's in black and white. It's weird.
Consume, buy, reproduce.
You can see them.
Yeah. Holy fuck. But due to the cloning process being refined, they are, and see, here's what you just hit on.
Right.
They are incredibly hard to detect and can blend in with the rest of us humans unnoticed.
If the, but I think it's like if the genetic
if
manipulation worked.
Yeah.
The way that they want it to. You know what I mean? It's like they know it. They know that they're alien hybrids.
Yeah.
But we can't tell.
Now you're saying
you wouldn't notice
the hybrid itself knows it's a hybrid?
Yes.
Yeah, it knows it's part of the Greys race.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, not to make light of it, but it's kind of like the Greys that just come here and like roofing people and date raping.
That's exactly what they're doing.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like,
But I feel like if I see any woman with like a shawl on and like feather earrings, she's into it.
yeah, if you live
Like,
on
she's
Mount Shasta,
volunteering.
you
know what
are
I mean?
Yeah.
She's got her hand up.
yeah, kind of like that chick in
I'll do it.
what, Independence Day, the one
Oh,
that stood
yeah.
on top of the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like they're here to love us.
yeah, they gets blasted.
Yeah, and then they
yeah.
just get
Immediately,
blown.
it gets like laser beamed, like
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, there's even a theory out there that like,
Don't think that there's not people that won't volunteer for that program. There are.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
well, there's
I-
even theory that like the Greys as a species is dying out, so they're
Yeah.
making the hybrids and then essentially like moving their consciousness from the tall white body to the hybrid body.
I'll fucking Avatar.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I
That's
think
exactly
that
what
came
that
out
is.
before.
Hey, yeah,
Avatar
100%.
came out.
Yeah.
And 100% is what that is.
It's because James Cameron's a hybrid.
Yeah.
You hit her first.
He's part of the whole
Steven
program.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Hollywood's been trying to tell us for decades.
Yeah.
You heard it here
Wake
first.
up,
folks.
sheeple. You sons of bitches.
Spielberg, Cameron, Jack
We're all
Nicholson.
part of it.
All of them.
Jack Nicholson looks like a hybrid.
He does.
But this is all an effort to slowly spread their DNA across the generations of humanity
Right.
for an eventual takeover of the planet.
That's what he meant.
So
in that
figuring if
Batman
there's
movie,
enough
though.
of them.
When did they get a load of me? That's what they meant. He's talking about the hybrid program.
Yeah.
And that's a fun fact.
They're
See,
"Oh,
like
shit."
even that dude, that's like, it's like shadow government kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
we're
yeah.
gonna breed them out. We're not gonna kill
Yeah.
them. We're gonna breed them out. You know?
Right. Well, that's not
And
working.
like, and I
That's
totally,
a very long process considering how many humans there are.
well, yeah, it would take generations and generations.
It would take like dozens and hundreds.
Well, that's
of
what I'm saying.
generations.
Like these aliens are super patient.
Yeah.
Like that's a really long time. That's a
But
long.
think
That's
about
a
it, dude,
long
like,
game.
With some of
Yeah.
these conspiracies, like their civilization is dying out. Their
Right.
species
Yeah, but see,
is on the brink
that's
of
the thing,
extinction.
man.
And these guys are just like, oh, we'll take a few thousand years. We'll breed.
Well, that's what
up
I
a
was
couple
about to say,
million of
man.
us.
Like
Yeah.
if they're dying out, they ain't got the time to be playing the long game.
Well, I guess if they live like a lot longer than we do,
Yeah, true. There's nothing
Yeah,
saying they don't
true.
live.
I
for
mean,
I'm
hundreds
sure
of
their
years or
medical
something.
shit is like crazy advanced. You know what I mean? Like they can probably.
Yeah, and
do
then, like
that.
I've never really seen anything about their lifespan.
It's either 0 or 1,000,000 years, somewhere in between there.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So somewhere in between, they don't exist
To
And
to
they're
a million
or
years
maybe
old.
immortal.
Yeah, one of those two things. It's somewhere between those.
But basically, man, they're saying this could also be attributed to the common social beauty standard that we have in our culture today.
Yeah,
You know, long, thin people with large eyes and pointed chins,
yeah.
which all are traits of the Greys mixed with human DNA.
Look at like any model, like supermodel. They're like 6'4",
Yeah, I agree with 100%.
88 pounds.
Yep.
They really look fucking weird, man. They're weird looking.
And for the longest time, dude, like remember with the model thing, like it was like totally vogue to like look emaciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
skinny
Those
ass
models
arms.
look like if you touched them, you get a cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How fucking skinny they are. Like their bones would literally cut you.
You think it's like coincidence that they're like 80% Russian?
Mm.
No,
Hmm.
not at all. You ever see the looks
I
those
don't think the
models
Russians
give?
give a
That's a
shit.
Russian look.
Well, you know, dude, I was just about to say,
Emaciated.
you know, I was about to say, like the Russians, at least America was like, yeah, just make sure you bring them back.
Russians like, we
Russians
don't
were like,
care.
Yeah, dude's
don't
like,
even
take
care.
whatever the fuck you want, dude. We
We
don't
don't even
care.
care.
Bring
We
them
don't even
back,
care.
don't bring them back.
Oh, do you want anything in return? I'm like, no.
Nah, we just
No,
don't give a shit.
just
No, we're
you know.
socialists. Everything's even Steven over here.
Yeah.
We're good.
So it's like, but not only that, man, but there's one other reason that they may be interested in our planet.
Right.
And that is, and I'm sure you've both heard this, that
No.
because we kind of covered this with the Anunnaki too, that they have depleted their natural resources
Yeah.
and are looking for another planet to mine before they do their thing and then move on to another planet and repeat the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say,
like we were
that
just
one
talking
I
about a
find
couple minutes
more.
ago.
That's the one I find more plausible. You know what I mean? It's like
But
if
dude,
you're
if
an
that's-
expanding race, you got to find it somewhere, and where better than a place where other species are.
I mean,
already
dude, think
thriving
about
because
even
they-
like our species. The smartest people in the world are saying we need to move to other planets. We need to become an interplanetary species because we'll deplete.
Yeah,
That's like one of the main reasons why all the smartest people in the world are trying to get us off the fucking planet.
or is
Yeah.
it?
Because yeah, sorry, the Illuminati are showing up.
Yeah.
Do they?
But I mean, but dude, if they are, that's kind of a fucking dick move. You know what I
not
mean?
really,
It's like,
man. They
we
if
come
not
here
really.
to deplete your resources, and then we're moving on.
Well,
No,
to
I
them,
don't-
it wouldn't
Insignificant.
really,
we're less than.
yeah,
Insignificant.
we're
So
animals.
we're like
to them.
insects.
Yeah, it's bugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't walk
Yeah.
up to the queen, your aunt, like, oh, fucking take me to your leader. You don't do that.
No,
You don't say that shit to a bee. You know what I mean? Like, you just
no.
hit their hive with a bat. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that's
see,
what you
plus,
do.
I mean, from an outside perspective, they're looking at what we're doing to the planet and to ourselves, and they're like, dude, they're wasting all this.
Well, yeah, they're probably
Yeah,
like, they don't give a
if
shit
that's
anyway.
the case, then they're doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, that's why they're breeding. They're trying to breed us out.
See, like that's why I think like that's maybe neither one of these are the agenda. You know what I mean? Like I
Greta
don't know what
Thunberg
it
is
is.
a
I
alien
don't know what
hybrid.
it is. But if they wanted to, who?
Greta Thunberg.
Who the fuck is that?
You know, that fucking Danish girl or whatever. The one that's like, how dare you?
Oh,
With the whole climate change thing.
oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a black guy kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you ruin the planet that we're gonna loot anyway?
Right. But it's like you're not doing anything about it, so shut the fuck up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're not doing anything to help. You're not doing
you know what,
anything.
dude?
You're just letting it happen.
Have either one of you considered the fact that they're here not because their species is dying out? They don't need the resources. They just really,
What,
they're just
here
horny.
fucking with us.
Yeah, they're just horny. Yeah, they just want to come in here, probe some people.
See, now that's an agenda.
That's
I
like a
can relate to.
vacation that's like a vacation for them.
Yeah, that's something I will
Like, yo,
get
click
on board
clacks.
with immediately.
This weekend we're going to Earth.
Yeah, like Earth is
We're gonna
like
get laid.
Earth is like the galaxy's Fort Lauderdale.
That's where they made that movie. Earth
Yo.
Girls Are Easy, and they're right.
100%.
God bless them.
Yeah.
That's how we raised them.
Earth is dirty Myrtle.
That's how we raised them.
That's fucking terrible.
Mhm. We're the
But, you know-
horrors of the galaxy,
they know it and we know it.
and we love it.
Yeah. Hey, at least we own it. Any
Yeah,
reason
in
to
the
party.
in the past though, man, there have been a lot of whistleblowers. Yeah, they've tried to come
Yeah.
out and to warn us of the alien presence and let us
Mhm.
know that like our governments have essentially alien technology
Right.
dozens, if not hundreds of tens of times like past what we as like civilians have.
I mean, I think with or without the alien technology, that's a fact.
Yeah. Well, it's something like
They have it.
by the time civilians get it, our
like
technology
50,
is already
60
like
years,
6 generations behind or some shit like that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, by the time we see it.
Yeah.
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 Man, I
Yeah,
can't
and that's-
afford the stuff that they're putting out now, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they're not gonna show us.
I always
not
gotta wait for
enjoying any of
somebody
it.
else to get bored of that
I
technology.
am
and
enjoying
then-
Velcro on a daily basis, but besides that, that's it. Because my shoes are.
Well, you got to
Velcro.
think.
Yeah, I'm about to say because Tim
I don't know how to. I never figured out.
Velcros the shoes on.
I never figured out the bunny under the tree or whatever. How to tie your shoes. I never figured that out.
Thank God for Velcro.
I'm all thumbs, you
Or
know.
thank the Grays for Velcro.
Yeah,
Now, dude,
one-
all right, now wait, just let me say something about the Velcro thing. Are we really attributing that to aliens, or do we just think we're not smart enough to come up with Velcro?
I think it was just something that they found in there is what they're getting
Like they
at.
found on one of those ships?
Yeah, and there was like, oh, this is pretty useful, and they just,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
which,
like-
which really shits on all the people that really worked on that stuff in reality. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't invent Velcro, Jerry Velcro. It was we got that off a spaceship. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we found Velcro on there,
well, fuck me, I
microwaves,
guess. You know?
little mini discs.
I only put 25 years of my entire fucking life into this.
Yeah. now,
you get-
now you're attributing it to aliens.
Yeah, you're giving it the click clack from fucking Zeta Reticuli. It was him. Bullshit.
You know, one of these whistleblowers was Colonel Philip Corso.
Yeah,
which
to
he
look at
shows
this
up
guy. Have
a
you seen a
lot,
picture of this
dude.
guy? Like he looks he looks like the professor from fucking Futurama. Since we're gonna reference it every goddamn episode, multiple times, he does kind of look like him. Like he really does. Look him up.
Yeah,
He looks a lot like him.
Philip Corso shows up a lot. Like if you're looking into anything gray related, this dude's name is getting dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He was a big deal, man.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was a legit dude. Like he was a big fucking deal in the military.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
Verified,
he goes,
you know?
yeah, he was part of the Eisenhower administration,
Right.
and was head of the Foreign Technology Division of the Army Research and Development Department.
Right.
So, I mean, this dude was pretty fucking high up there. Yeah,
Dude, I just pulled him up. He does look like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled him up.
It's when they bring in the Roswell crash. Good news, everyone. We recovered a spacecraft in Roswell, New Mexico.
Uh,
but you know, like this is if he really was a whistleblower, this is like as close to alien like conspiracy you're gonna get.
Well, I think at this point, like with this dude, like if let's just say the government really was running on the whole show, you know what I mean? Like they really did find it and all that shit. This is probably one of the cats that would have known about it.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was on
He was
what,
running the
foreign-
Army's R&D.
Yeah.
He's basically on what, the foreign
He
technology
would have
division?
been
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was in charge of
Research
back
and
engineering, like the Rush. They caught like a Russian MiG or something. You know what I mean? Like his team was responsible for
Now, let
back
me ask
for
you this,
reverse
man.
engineering it.
Yeah.
What do you think this, like, all right, you know the deal they made with Eisenhower, right? Supposedly,
Yes.
Yep.
right? Now, do you think they made the same deal with Russia and China?
No.
No, they were anti-communist.
Were they anti-communist?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Better dead than
in
red.
the deal. It was anyway.
like as far as America was like, yo, you can't be fucking with the Russians.
No, I mean,
Exactly.
even if they did say that, you're talking to a vastly superior race. They're gonna do whatever the fuck they want with whoever the fuck they want, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, true.
No.
I mean, yeah, the reality is there ain't shit you
Especially
can do about it.
1947, anywhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Pick a place on the planet. You know what I mean? Like anywhere, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna do anything. They had
Wait.
3 nukes, and they were all in New Mexico.
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
it.
at the time. Yeah.
Not like right now, where there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of them. There was 3.
Yeah, there's like 12 missing right now too.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, it's not like losing your keys. You know,
No.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. How the fuck do you lose a nuke, bro? That's how.
Yeah.
Oh,
How do you fucking lose a 150-foot fucking rocket?
that's a good question.
Yeah, dude, that's not like. Hey, we were supposed to get in 50 notebooks. We only got 48.
Yeah.
Just write 50. Who's a?
Yeah,
Just a clerical error.
Somebody's fudging the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Colonel Corso. Yeah, he stated that technologies like night vision goggles.
Right.
Like
Or
the
from the
infrared?
crash.
Yeah, like they were from like. They were the same thing that was like covering the Gray's eyes that made him appear black.
Now, you
Right.
see,
so they
that's
don't
what makes
actually
me
The
think-
have
Grays
black
had like
eyes.
a way more advanced version of night vision.
Well,
Right.
see, I don't know, man. You see, that's where I think that makes me think more towards the Android thing.
What do you mean?
Like that the shorter grade.
Like the night vision was built into the eyes.
Yeah, like of if the smaller grades are actually
Right.
Yeah.
androids.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean?
It's very possible. Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
This whole thing is conjecture. I don't know.
Well,
It's
yeah,
possible.
He was also stating
It's a
that,
logical statement. you know?
fiber optic cables for data transmission,
Yeah, that I believe.
stealth
You know,
technology.
I mean, fiber
why
optics
didn't
is
we-
all based on light.
Then why
Yeah.
the fuck was I using dial-up and AOL disk if their fiber optic technology is around for fucking
Because-
78 years?
Because the government has a better version, so they can let you have the old
Shitty
shit.
version.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
They
I
get all
mean,
the new
until
toys.
they upgraded. They wasn't going to put the fiber optic out until they had something better at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, dude, like they had stealth technology they got from them, like we see in the modern F-117,
Right.
the stealth
Okay.
fighter, yeah, that's a stealth fighter. The
Yeah.
B-50, the B-52.
Yeah.
We have a B-52 stealth plane.
Yeah, we got the
Rock
Rock
Lobster.
Lobster from Crash and Corona.
No, the B-2 stealth bombers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will say this about the B-2 bomber though. in the stealth technology. I think that thing gives off like an identification the size of a bumblebee.
Yeah, it's like super
Yeah,
small.
And that fucking thing is like 150 feet long, man. Like wide.
Yeah,
like,
the
it's
bomber
insane
is pretty
size of it.
pretty large.
Yeah.
The fighter's a fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
well,
like
yeah.
that, but like,
Well,
but that
But to
wasn't
only give
even-
off a, you know, like a little signal as far as the size of a bee,
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive, man.
yeah.
you're not even seeing that shit on radar, man.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, it's like
And
hyper
basically-
fast too. So
And I have read that basically if they did get them on radar, it's almost impossible to get them again. You know what I mean?
right. Well, they're already gone.
Yeah. So it's like almost impossible to find them again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I will say that part is definitely pretty impressive.
Right.
You know, like he's saying that they even have like significantly more advanced versions of all this stuff.
Right.
As you know, what
Yeah, I
we're
believe
talking
that
about here
100%.
came out in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah, the F-117 and the B-2 came out late 70s, early 80s. Dude, we didn't. I think it wasn't
Yeah.
declassified till like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was created after the SR-71.
Gulf War, I
you know,
think, is
the
the first
first
time.
true stealth aircraft.
Yeah, after the Gulf War, I think they were disclassified. Yeah, and the SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
It was like it went like what, like 80, like it could fly like 80,000 feet undetectable
Yeah.
and flew
Yeah,
like
take
Mach
like
3.
crystal clear.
Yeah,
pictures and everything.
yeah, in the 70s.
So imagine what they really have.
Yeah, come on.
It's insane.
And
Well,
dude,
the crazy thing, like a side story to this though, like the stealth stuff, a lot of this was built by Lockheed Skunk Works,
Yeah.
and the guy that ran it, his name's escaping me right now. But he was
I
doing-
know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, he did a conference one time talking about, you know, essentially like they had the technology in it because ET had just come out that we had.
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
technology to take ET
yeah.
home. That was a guy who
Okay, I
ran the whole
remember that.
fucking thing for these. He helped build the SR-71. I'm pretty sure he helped build the F-117 and the B-2. So there you go.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking up. I think his name was Ben Rich.
No.
That's not Ben Rich. I'm looking up the wrong thing then.
Yes.
Skunk,
After
no,
what you just
Ben
said
Rich
before.
of Skunk Works said we have the technology to take ET home.
Oh, then yes.
Yeah. So fuck you. All right. Making me
Whatever.
second guess myself. Well, yeah, and he's even saying, like we just said earlier with Velcro, all this came from technologies they retrieved from the Greys crafts.
Right.
Also,
Right.
you know, according to Corso, the Greys ended up having like a secret meeting with Eisenhower. And the two parties would negotiate a deal of sorts.
Right.
Or, yeah, he called it a quote unquote negotiated surrender.
So I'm like, have you ever seen Eisenhower's farewell speech?
No.
You should watch it. It's pretty amazing because he warns a lot about like the military industrial complex taking over and like false power and shit like that. I wonder if he's really referring to this kind of stuff that like the military is getting this like advanced tech and they're gonna be able to fucking take over everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, they could take it over if they
They have.
wanted to.
They already have.
Yeah.
Well, you know, dude, like I saw another thing the other day that said something about, you know, like that's a big reason why, you know, the shadow governments, quote unquote, or whatever you want to call it, you know, fucking Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. But that's a big push on the whole electric car thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because, you know, because basically if everybody in the country, or say the world eventually, has electric cars, or, you know, they're so
Then
dependent-
we're bound to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then they're so dependent on the grid, or they could just fucking shut your car off.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if they lock down a pandemic, or like, you know, just say like the COVID thing again.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere. 'cause we
90% of the
just
country
turn
has
the
electric cars.
Yeah.
They can just go in and shut them down.
I mean, it's like
I
look at
ain't going
phones,
nowhere.
man. It's a lot easier to imprison the mind than it is the body.
Yeah.
True.
They
Yeah,
design things for
100%.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, because this is the deal, the negotiated surrender, as he calls it, which is what we actually touched on that a minute ago.
Okay, let me
that
ask
the
you this real
Greys were
quick.
given
Is it our negotiated surrender or their it's ours?
Ours.
Our negotiated
Ours.
surrender, correct?
Ours.
yes.
Yeah.
And what it was they gave the Greys to abduct humans without military interference, but
Mm-hmm.
according to it, they were supposed to return them from when they were taken and have their memories wiped.
So like if they were
and-
abducting people, they had to bring them back to their house
Yeah, which they don't ever do. It's always like fucking
or a
halfway
bus
across the
station or
country.
wherever they're sleeping for the night.
And you would think
Every-
that if these guys can travel like that, they could bring you back to where they took you from.
Yeah, but like with Travis Walton, they're like, you know what, 30 miles is close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was
We'll
one
just
chick.
drop you here. Buck
So there was
naked.
one chick who
Mhm.
got abducted out of her house with like her friend sleeping on the couch and watched it happen.
Now wait, is that the
This
chick
chick
that
ended up fucking
floated out the window?
4 hours away by plane.
Right.
Is that the chick
Like-
that supposedly floated out the window over the Hudson?
Yeah. No.
Or
This
something
was in
like that?
Australia.
Oh, Australia.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. She was in like the Australian outback because her husband was a contractor
dingo.
or something.
Oh.
A dingo. No, but she floated out the window, and then within like 5 hours or something like that, she was 4 hour planes like away.
It's like
is when
2,000
they-
miles.
Yeah. They're like, there's zero chance she would, even if she got on a plane, it would have taken her more than an hour to get to the closest plane,
Right.
like airport.
Oh, like coming out of the outback.
Yeah. Like where they were, there was zero chance of her getting that far in that amount of time.
Even by crocodile.
Yeah. Kangaroo, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe kangaroo.
So in return, the Greys are supposed to provide technology to the military for, obviously weapons development and a
Well, yeah,
variety of other purposes, but mainly I would think weapons.
for killing machines.
I was
Yes.
gonna say probably
Exactly.
more nefarious
Yeah.
Yeah.
purposes.
But-
That's what the military is designed to do.
Yeah, they're not
100%.
here they're not on humanitarian.
Yeah.
No,
They're not like
yeah.
super friendly. You know what I
No.
mean?
But we're gonna pick up again on the Greys next week.
Hooray.
But yeah, we're gonna leave it here for now. We got a whole nother thing going on for next week. So
Yeah, there's a lot
Well-
of information about these guys.
yeah.
That's because it's real. And anything real has a lot of shit going on.
That's right.
Next week, we go back to the 17th century and talk about Greys.
All right.
Yay.
Yeah.
No, we're
Yeah,
not going to do that. We're not going to do it.
I was about to be like, dude, I'm about to go
Yeah.
so far back.
Dude, I was
If
about
I
to
come
say-
on this show next week and there's a story about a 16th century Grey, I will become a family annihilator. Like, I am tired of this shit. I can't take it anymore.
or Norse Gray.
I'm going, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you know-
fucking Vikings did it again.
Well, Thor was an alien. I'm like, you stupid fuck. God, I
Yeah.
hate humanity.
But for right
Dude.
now, that's the Greys.
Sounds
Fantastic.
like it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah,
I
dig
love it
this
more.
story.
I love it more than almost anything in there on the whole fucking planet.
Yeah,
It's a story of things from other planets.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. As always, we love you.
Yeah.
Follow
Thank
us on
you.
Instagram and what's the
Apple
other thing we do?
Podcast,
YouTube.
Apple Podcast, Spotify. Yeah,
YouTube.
if you like the show, go to Spotify, give us 5 stars, please. That'd be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated.
All right, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
See you later.
Have a good one.
Bye.